India needs a thali revolution. A colorful thali full of variety of food items can do wonders in our lives. This is the Uttam Aahaar which could lead to Uttam Vichar. So, here comes the Aahaar Kranti for the well-being of each one of us. We all need nutrition. An early childhood needs nutrition investment. It all begins even before the birth of a child, when we take care of a would-be mom. A healthy child develops into a healthy adult and in turn has a healthy aging. But we don't know what should we eat and how much. So, let's understand the concept of Uttam Aahaar. A human body needs me the most.
No, I am the most important in the food plate.
We fulfill the major needs of anybody.
You all are sadly mistaken. I am the best and needed the most.
Everyone blames me for their bad shape, but without me, none of you can be cooked or made worth eating.
We are not counted as main food, but give energy almost equivalent to what you people give.
I give all the energy to children. Hey, stop this fight. You all are the best and needed by the body. It's a teamwork. We all make the balanced diet, which has the extraordinary healing powers and can do miracles for our body. All these efforts are just to make you aware how important these food groups are as a whole, and also to bring the thali revolution in our lives. This revolution will educate us to eat Uttam Aahaar, which will ultimately lead to Uttam Vichar.
So just before beginning, I would like to say two things. One, this event is an initiative of Global Indian Scientists and Technocrats Forum. The second one is tomorrow, May 15th, happens to be International Day of Families, which I came to know a few weeks ago that United Nations also celebrates something like this. So congratulations and happy International Day of Families in advance to everyone. GIST is a platform for engaging scientists and technocrats around the world for the development of Bharat. And what exactly it means, that today Bharat is growing, Bharat is leaping and moving in the rocket speed in terms of making the lives of the citizens better. We want to be part of it. We meaning the science and technology diaspora, and we want to be part, join hands, partnerships, collaborations, and complement and supplement all the ongoing efforts at this point of time using scientific interventions, scientific solutions. Our partners and collaborators range from individual subject matter experts to even the government agencies. We are also very cognizant about the fact that when international audience is there, we need to be respectful to any intellectual property, any confidentiality, any security related aspects. So the platform strives to keep all these things to the extent they have to be kept separate. It is only the voluntary aspect of it is highlighted in these collaborations. Now, what today GIST, the acronym stands for Global Indian Scientists and Technocrats, has three verticals. One, agriculture, led by coordinator Sharad Mohanji and joint coordinators Professor Sheshan Atrai as well as Dr. Prakash Jha. You will hear a little bit about this by Prakash ji later. Education is led by Srimati Sujata Gokhale, and you will also hear about it. The third one is Aahaar Kranti. This is an initiative of GIST Vibha, partnered with many organizations, which you'll learn a little bit later. And Dr. Rashmi Kulkarni is leading this initiative of campaign in Bharat, national awareness for positive nutrition or better nutrition. Of course, GIST is not limited to only these three. The other areas that are evolving and they're also expanding. With that, I will come to this Aahaar Kranti. Last year around this time, on the day of Varsha Pratipada, launch was done in the presence of the then Minister of Health and Family Welfare, Science and Technology, as well as Ministry of Environmental Sciences, Dr. Harshavardhan. And the problem was highlighted. The purpose of Aahaar Kranti was laid out. Without going into the details, these are the four major bullet items that one has to focus in terms of the need of the Aahaar Kranti in Bharat today. The first one is very, very good news. Since the Harit Kranti or the Green Revolution, the abundance of food produced in India was able to not only fulfill the hunger needs, but also able to help the life expectancy to about 71 years, almost 10 years in a matter of 30 years. The second one is a shocking that today that abundancy has become to really at a larger extent, and because of which country has huge amount of food grains. But counter to that one is country is suffering both malnutrition, which is lack of awareness about what is the nutrition, undernourishment, this is affordability. And this has translated into high dietary risk in Bharat. And dietary risks are very, very important for the child even before its birth, after birth, the first 1,000 days and all those things. In terms of its health, later its family's health, later the future generations. So this scientific finding needs to be incorporated. That is why the awareness is required. The last one is Ayurvedic principles have time and again in the past have been shown to help people with long life, and that is both healthy and happy. Unfortunately, in 18th and 19th century, the Ayurveda practice in India was banned by the then administrators from East India Company. Today it needs rejuvenation because it essentially addresses the core principles required for food. There are non-compatible items, non-compatible in the way that we eat, non-compatible depending upon our Sharira Prakriti. And if we use it, it can be preventive in terms of the any diseases. However, like any other field, people look for scientific validation which needs to be generated. In the dietary risk, the majority is because of the cardiovascular as well as diabetes, which is nothing but starch-rich diet. Of course, our consumption of chemicals has increased significantly, which has today translated into cancers and tumors and etc. The journal Nature, a couple of decades ago, published articles saying that cancer is a man-made disease. So what is the solution? We need to balance our food production. We have to provide science-based evidences in order to help people have long life, healthy life, and happy life. And this is nothing but core ingredient for making Bharat Samruddha and Atmanirbhar. So that means, how can we accomplish? We need to bring the awareness. And what is the awareness? In simple terms, if I am aware of the benefits, if I am aware of the consequences, it should help me to motivate and inspire the things to do rightly, correctly. Here, me meaning who? I may be an individual, a family, I may be a researcher. All of us have to work together, find out the evidences, prove, including for Ayurveda, and influence the government in such a way that they can put the policies. And where do we start? We need to have some amount of material that will help provides education, motivating and inspiring. So what is balanced nutrition? It is different for different phases, different ages as we grow. It is E to E, embryo to end of life. The awareness module, the material should constitute that what is the nutrition, why it is important, what are the benefits and consequences. And this also needs to be recognized that what I eat today is not only for me, but also for my future generations. Take the COVID situation. India was able to counter significantly better compared to any of the developed countries. Over 100 deaths in the developed world for 100,000 population, whereas in India it was only 18. The scientists are attributing this to the core dietary habits, which constitutes a lot of spices in our food, healthy, because of which we have inherent immunity. This is a knowledge that needs to be passed on to the next generation. Today's food pyramid practice worldwide has limitations, not for vegetarians. There's no mention of spices, doesn't mention anything about the opposite or Viruddha Aahaar, Prakriti-based. But if you look into traditional thali, which we have been practicing for ages, fulfills all the nutritional needs, physical well-being, intellectual well-being, leading to well-set cognitive skills. How are we doing in thali? It is local food, it is organically grown food, it is seasonal food, and it was fresh too. So how do we take this awareness campaign? We collaborate with the partners and organizations. For the awareness, we train the workshop, conduct the workshop, train the trainers, and it goes on from national to rural villages, ultimately reaching village, school, and through them, the families. On the other hand, we also need to develop a lot of scientific evidence, and for which we need to do conferences, symposiums, webinars, events, and this has to iterate again and again in different disciplines. Ultimately, should be able to help ministries, government to make decisions, right decisions for the country. So how do we do it? We have the modules developed. Using it, we have given lectures, series of them, and attended by thousands. They have given input. We have to take that input, and we are going ahead with providing training in multiple regional languages. They will not only listen, not only understand, they later lead to translate, develop new collaterals. From their point of view, make the sessions highly interactive for the others. And that is by involving a lot of gaming materials. And then The audience is several different students, different ages, different grades. Obviously, the content needs to be made it relevant. On the other hand, in terms of the developing evidences, we need to partner with the different agencies. We need to understand what is happening, collaborate with them, and through them, educate, increase awareness in their own audiences. For this purpose, we have been interacting and collaborating with many universities, midday meal scheme providers, many NGOs, many ministries, many national research organizations, and partners, Vijnana Prasar as well as Prabhas. I personally recognize and appreciate the unconditional support and the help, and more importantly, the guidance given by Vijnana Prasar in terms of bringing us from where we were 1 year ago to where we are today. Also, several ministers, Dr. Harshavardhan, Dr. Subhash Sarkar from Ministry of Education State, and Shri Ram Mohan Mishra, former Secretary of Ministry of Women, Child and Development. Many national research organizations, dignitaries, Dr. Shekhar Mande, who just recently retired, was Secretary, the Director General of CSIR, Professor Trilochan Mahapatra, Secretary and Director General of Indian Council of Agricultural Research, Professor Tanuja Nesri, Director of All India Institute of Ayurveda, Dr. M. Ravichandran, Secretary of Ministry of Earth Sciences, and Ms. Indira Murthy, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Earth Sciences. So the unfolding is going to be over the years through awareness, through curriculum, through online and physical format, starting with English, Hindi, going to vernacular, reaching to schools, NGOs and Anganwadis, through private and government. Ultimately, the effort is to train the teachers in such a way that they will educate the students in the classroom, and students take the messages to their family, influencing the society. This is what Aahaar Kranti and what we want to do, as this campaign needs efforts from multiple dimensions for a few years. Harit Kranti took more than 20 years. Shweta Kranti took more than 20 years. In this digital world, Aahaar Kranti, I think it should not take that many years, but still it will take few years. If it is accomplished, India can become Samruddha Bharat, because we will have Vidwan Bharat, Swastha Bharat, Ayushman Bharat, supported by Krushi Pradhan. And these are the ingredients required for Bharat to become Vishwaguru. In fact, in today's world, everyone is looking for kind of guidance, roadmap, lighthouse from Bharat for the betterment of the world. With that, I will close. Back to you, Nidhi.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. And as you rightly mentioned, we need to, ladies and gentlemen, today take a pledge to make well-being go viral. Since LOG Rao sir spoke so well about Aahaar Kranti, I need to reiterate this fact that well-being indeed and wellness needs to go viral, and it can happen through Aahaar Kranti. And for all the viewers who've just joined us, we had with us Dr. LOG Rao K. Mirajkar, who's the international convener, Global Indian Scientists and Technocrats Forum. He's a PhD from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and he's had several very high appointments. And he's also a member of the Board of Trustees, Dharma Civilization, and former Executive Director, Hindu Swayamsevak Sangh, USA, originally from Karnataka. Would you like to speak a little more, sir, or should I carry on?
Please carry on.
Right, sir. And I request you all to please stay with us and we go on to the next speaker. I'd like to introduce to you Dr. Nakul Parashar, Director Vigyan Prasar, and we all know that optimum nutrition holds the key to many aspects of physical health and mental well-being. I'm happy to be joined by so many eminent panelists so that we talk of Sahi Ahaar and a Behtar Jeevan. All right.
Yeah.
I request Dr. Srinivas Rao to give us a few insights on Aahaar Kranti. We've been waiting for you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. And as Dr. Nakul Parashar just mentioned, your contribution to this movement has been phenomenal. Thank you, sir.
Namaste. Thank you, Dr. Nakul Parashar, Dr. Eloji Rao, and Dr. Rashmi Kulkarni. We are always in constant communication in a different way. And here today, within a short, brief period, I will cover what I have been doing about Aahaar Kranti and how it is growing from my angle. Aahaar Kranti is needed for India to excel in all areas of human activity because food is the primary source for better health. And a country with better health can aspire to lead the world. Present day rich countries where I am, United States, where I have knowledge of France and other countries, neglected food as a primary source for better health. So they are doing poorly in overall development. Even though I'm in the Western world for all my adult life, I can boldly say on any platform that the West depended on the pharma industry for better health, which no other living animal species depend on. Every single species on earth depends naturally on food. Now, this situation, India can take as an opportunity and improve the health of its people nationwide. Therefore, Aahaar Kranti is the right tool. Then what is food? Briefly, it's a combination of energy and nutrients. Dr. Eloji Rao showed that India is producing 4 times more calories that are required, which now all the scientists, including National Institute of Nutrition, almost agree, though they do not confirm it. India has achieved energy-rich situation, but it has not achieved nutrition-rich situation. That is where a lot of improvement is needed. There's a great scope and freedom to increase people's nutrition. One simple message that I'm sure Rashmi ji and others at Aahaar Kranti are driving is, without waiting for any new research, without waiting for any new products, please eat wide range of foods that are available locally and wherever you are. That in itself can ensure better health without any question. We have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of food varieties. That is a big subject, but I will not go into it. Coming to the action part, the next major step is to research and grow nutritionally better foods. At the launch of Aahaar Kranti program last year, I was pleasantly surprised to hear from Dr. Tilochan Mahapatra, DG ICAR, that a higher protein variety rice is developed by his team in India. Certainly, there have been such kind of mentions various times when we all meet together for meetings, but Dr. Tilochan Mahapatra followed it up by giving the seed to me last year. And we planted it. We started growing it. I consider that as a part of Aahaar Kranti. And as you can see, my background is exactly that rice variety with higher protein. Not only we cultivated, we made rice and presented at India International Science Festival 2021. And that rice is now going to be in the market soon this year. At the same time, I'm very sure I brought this to the attention of the scientists at Cuttack National Rice Research Institute. I actually went, spent time, met the scientists, all of them, including the current director, and requested them to find varieties better than what United States has already developed, 12% protein and 41 glycemic index. We are working towards more iron varieties with a simple technique. We hope that entire India will have better iron varieties, and we will talk about it in my next presentation. At the same time, last month, when I was discussing with Dr. A.K. Singh, Deputy Director General at ICAR, about wheat, because India consumes millions of tons of wheat too. There is a variety of wheat that has 10 times more fiber in United States now, whom I know the scientists and the companies and working with them. And when I discussed this subject with Dr. Singh, we have found that there is a wheat variety in India with 6 times more protein, fiber and 15% protein. This is really wonderful. But these varieties are not known to large sections of population. That is the main thing. The scientists in India have done their job, are doing their job, will do their job, but we have to take it to the people. And unless that job is done, Aahaar Kranti's work is not successful. I mentioned a few major food items consumed by millions of people and millions of tons. But there are at least 100 other food items that need research, produce nutritionally better varieties like lentils, oilseeds, vegetables, and fruits with high antioxidants. I hope Aahaar Kranti educates people and create demand for a wide range of nutritionally rich foods. Then only scientists and farmers will have incentive to produce more nutritionally rich foods to improve the health of the nation. This is the job of Aahaar Kranti team.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for those wonderful words. I would like to begin by introducing next Dr. Nakul Parasha, Director Vigyan Prasad. He's a PhD by physics from the Delhi College of Engineering, entrepreneur, university level teacher, researcher, science communicator, writer and publisher. He's also authored many books and has been awarded with the Acharya P.C. Ray Award for Science Communication. He actively drives his passion to spread SNT awareness through Indian languages and regional languages, something that I could likely to reiterate here again. And the promo video that we all just saw was also at the start of the event was produced under Sir's guidance. I welcome you, sir, and I request you to talk about the collaborative activities on Vigyan Prasad and Aahaar Kranti. Sir.
Namaskar, a very warm welcome to everybody out here on this forum. It gives me an immense pleasure to be here, and I really want to thank Yeluji Rao and the entire team of organizers that includes Dr. Rashmi Kulkarni, Dr. Srinivas Rao, and many others who have been with this journey through and throughout ever since we started exactly on April 13th last year, with a mission that we've all known how the white revolution and the green revolution and now the blue revolution has produced so much of immense well-being to the nation, and has given a country the required thrust to be in a new orbit. with this aim of Ahar Kranti, when we first met and spoke about it, was something that I believe anybody who talks about it would fall for it, because the kind of cause that that Ahar Kranti embarks upon is quite huge and humongous, and with an aim to not only bring in a kind of sense and awareness about how and what is to be eaten, but also keeping in mind the larger picture about the nation. So, nation first, its citizens first, their health first, and all of which requires a lot of a movement where a number of trainers have to be trained, and this journey has to get into a bigger shape and size than what we have been thinking about. Very pertinent, because we all understand, as Yaloji Rao very rightly said, it's right from embryo to the endpoint that we need to look at. It has to be very holistic, and it's a big way that we need to go. In this process, it's very important that the awareness mechanisms of awareness are made available, are looked upon, and latest technologies are adopted so that we reach the masses in a big way. I'm glad that over a period of 1 year, we've been relentlessly working hard in bringing out a monthly newsletter. That's on the print side. We've also produced a number of films on India Science, which is India's only OTT channel, Science and Technology OTT channel, which I am very proud that Nidhi ji is a part of it. And also, we cannot forget the social media as well. So it's important for us to ensure that a portal that we've been talking about uh, gets underway as quickly as possible, so that the entire set of information that we amass in our journey gets over there. There's a lot of hard work that, under the stewardship of Yeloji Rao, we've been able to achieve, and also Dr. Rashmi Kulkarni's contribution in making the content cannot be ignored, has to be acknowledged, has to be applauded, for a plain and simple reason: the kind of hard work that she's put in creating those collaterals that have actually become not only the arms, weapons, and ammunition for trainers to go ahead and tell people. We've had a lot of discussions and deliberations around it. We've looked into what the user interface is, what user expectation is about, because our target audience, of course, is the vast cultural rich country that we have. It is where we have to be very cautious about how we speak, how our people understand. And if we were to do it in English, it has to be in a way where people can understand the way we speak, the way we pronounce, and we take it forward from here. So I think Dr. Rashmi Kulkarni has gone through all of this and has made this material available. I really want to thank from the core of my heart an organization that I belong to, Vigyan Bharati, which, and I'm very proud to be a part of it, because we've worked together in ensuring that our other activities also come in handy, and for that matter, our teachers at school and higher education have been a part of it. And I'm also very happy to share with all of you that we have a big plan in front of us, that we need to take it forward as quickly as possible. And I'm glad to be a part of this whole team, where we dynamically work to the various changes that have come across, with the entire support from the ministry, from the government of India, from non-government agencies, and number of people who've joined this. I would just say, like what we say in Hindi, "Log judte gaye, karwan banta gaya." And I'm sure this caravan that we're talking about, will take the entire country with storm on a positive note, where we end up what we want to achieve: Swasth Bharat, Unnat Bharat, Samradh Bharat, and a Sashakt Bharat. So, with this, once again, congratulating each and everyone who've been a part of this. And one person whom I cannot forget while we talk about is Dr. Srinivasa Rao, who has been one of those founding pillars of this movement, and really look forward to being his presence on this forum. And I'm glad that Dr. Yeloji Rao covered for him. But if we get him, it'll be a very nice tribute to his hard work that we've done. I know it's very difficult to stop here because we've got some ambitious plans. We've got some very exciting plans, strategies, which I'm sure Dr. Yeluji Rao will unfurl and let us know about it. On this note, once again, thank you so much from the core of my heart. I congratulate everyone who've been with a part of this journey and look forward to many more milestones and in a quicker way that we would be able to achieve. Jai Hind and Jai Bharat. Namaste.
I'd now like to invite Dr. Prashant Gangal, pediatrician at BPN Maharashtra. He's been practicing as a pediatrician in Mumbai, and he's been a breastfeeding advocate trainer for over 3 decades now. He's also been a mother support training coordinator of BPNI Maharashtra since 1995. He's working closely with the government of Maharashtra and UNICEF for more than 20 years and has trained thousands of health and ICDS personnel in infant and young child nutrition. He's contributed towards Shishu Poshan app, rejuvenated breast crawl, and gave concepts of Hirkani room for the immunization clinic and Navajata Shishu. I request you, sir, to please share your thoughts about BPNI activities and collaboration with GIST. Prashant, sir.
Let me share my screen.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes. So may I request you to join? Yes. Yes.
In the presentation. Okay, I will speak without refusing to get started.
Stay with us, viewers. We're having a little
Yes,
problem
yes.
with the tech. Yes, sir.
No problem. I'll just not stop sharing the presentation. Okay. I speak without the slides. There is some problem with putting up the presentation. At the outset, I feel very honored to be in this August gathering, and I thank GIST for giving me this opportunity. All the dignitaries present over here and the delegates attending this particular conference. My topic today is how breastfeeding and complementary feeding affect child morbidity and mortality, and how BPNI Maharashtra, Breastfeeding Promotion Network of India Maharashtra branch, can collaborate with GIST on these particular issues. What I have seen in my last 30 years of experience is that it is not important how many trainers you train. It is not important how many health workers you train. What is important is that how mothers at ground level start getting benefited from your activities. So the focus should be on the final beneficiary. I need not go into details of how breastfeeding and complementary feeding are important for infant health and child health. We know that infant mortality rates and neonatal mortality rates, though they are dropping in India, they are still high. Though on death certificate, different causes appear, like for example, diarrhea, pneumonia and other causes. What doesn't appear on death certificate is malnutrition. And about 45% of deaths occur because of malnutrition directly or indirectly. And this fact needs to be understood. I will give you an example. If you are able to successfully initiate breastfeeding within 1 hour of birth, initiation of breastfeeding within 1 hour of birth, we will be able to avoid 22% of neonatal deaths. What we see as mortality or deaths is just the tip of the iceberg. What we don't see is the effects caused by malnutrition and the diseases which occur, the morbidity which occurs because of that. It's not just about morbidity and mortality. It is about the development of society as a whole. If the child doesn't get appropriate nutrition, then when this child grows into an adult, this child will be mentally and socially have little subnormal, and that will affect the performance of the whole society. A mother who was malnourished will give rise to a malnourished baby. So the cycle of malnutrition will continue. So this entire iceberg needs to be realized. So if we want to improve all these things, we need to improve the nutrition of children in first 1,000 days. Why first 1,000 days? Because in the first 1,000 days, the brain, the body, that means height-wise and weight-wise, increases maximally. I'll give you an example. By 2 years of age, 75% of brain development is over, though length-wise, the child has finished only 50% and weight-wise only 20%. So what gets maximally affected is brain growth, which we don't see. Now, what are the steps that need to be taken about this particular thing? Now, in explaining this, I will use two words. One is Astra and one is Shastra. During the first few years of our activity, we use Shastra. Shastra is one which can be used by an individual at the most upon 2 or 3 people, a very limited number of people. And as you know, the Astra is something which can be used by one person to affect millions and lakhs of people. So whatever measures we use should be like an Astra. So in the first phase of our activities of BPNI Maharashtra, we focused on Shastras. That is giving small tips to the health workers. But now what we have come out in the second phase is Astras. That means using those measures which will affect completely a large number of sections of the society. Now there are two types of these particular Astras. One Astra is which is mainly hospital based or maternity home based, and second one is community based. Now starting with the maternity home based or the hospital based, the most important is baby friendly hospital initiative. WHO and UNICEF in 1989 gave the principles of 10 steps to successful breastfeeding, which the maternity homes have to follow. But unfortunately, since they have not been included as mandatory by governments and included along with the registrations for the maternity homes, they are not being followed. So following 10 steps to breastfeeding and by promoting the maternity homes, or I would say forcing them to become baby friendly, would help greatly in improving the start of breastfeeding, the initiation of breastfeeding. जो संस्कार होने चाहिए बच्चे माँ और माँ के ऊपर, वो पहले 3 दिन में 4 दिन में होते हैं, और जो संस्कार वहां पे हो जाएंगे वो अगले 2 साल first 1,000 days तक कंटिन्यू रहेंगे. So those sanskars are done by baby friendly hospital initiative. I'm not going into details because lack of time. The second most important astra is 4-dimensional immunization clinic. The situation of complementary feeding, or the food which is started at 6 months of age along with continuation of breastfeeding, is the situation is worse than that of breastfeeding. You'd be surprised to know that not even 10% of children's population get appropriate diet. And that is one of the things which we have to really focus on. And you would ask me why this happens? You'd be surprised to know that nobody ever asks the mother that what she is giving and makes an analysis on the basis of food groups. The whole concept of carbohydrate, proteins, and fats is gone. What we are looking at is food groups. And these 10 food groups, initially there are 7, including breast milk, it becomes 8. And as BPNI Maharashtra, we added 3 more. So somebody has to audit children's diet. And the best opportunity for this is the vaccination clinic. So when child comes to immunization, the first thing that should be done is diet audit and growth monitoring, and both should be correlated. If growth chart goes up, why it has gone up? If it goes down, why it has gone down, that needs to be analyzed. So this is the first step. Second is development. Has the child started turning over? Has the child started sitting? Has the child started standing? So these are the few important things which have to be asked to become mental retardation and other delays. Then what are the drugs that mother is supposed to consume? Who will ask about calcium and iron being taken by the mother? Who will give contraceptive advice to the mother? Because quite a few times the second child comes in too early and that causes malnutrition in the elder baby. And the last one is dose. If any doctor or nurse is lifting up these hands to give vaccination without going into the first three, I think it is a crime of great magnitude. So that needs to be addressed. There are few other astras which are not as important as these two, but I'll just enumerate them. Something like baby-friendly, you might know labor room. What we call labor room is an old concept. What we introduced the concept of Navjat Shishu Agaman Kaksha. The best room in any city or any town in the world should be where the baby, the new citizen arrives, and where mother should feel that, yes, that was the best place I was ever in. So her mentality, her psychology needs to be maintained. Then baby-friendly NICUs, the newborn care units, where mothers need to be admitted right in the NICU or next to the NICU, and a lot of friendly policies have to be followed in over there. Then at the social level, we need to make social awareness. I'm glad to know that Mr. Sanjay, who is a part of the GIST, Mr. Kimbone, the TCS and KM Hospital along with BPNI Maharashtra, having generated an app called Shishu Poshan. And this is being widely followed in Maharashtra because it is in India also, because it is available in 3 languages. The mothers should be counseled at the community level by forming mother support groups. And we need to follow up children. You'll be surprised to know that in many maternity setups, when the child gets discharged, the next follow-up the child is 1.5 months. And between the discharge and the 1.5 months follow-up is something like a blank screen. And that is where the maximum damage occurs. So we need to address that also. And we need to address follow-up between 42 days, that is the first vaccination, till the end of 2 years by frequent diet audits. All in all, the most important thing we felt, and which is still a far outside dream, is that we need dedicated counselors in infant and child feeding. You'll be surprised to know that though this is such an important topic, there are no universities in the world which offers diploma or degree in lactation counseling, breastfeeding counseling, or complementary feeding counseling. If there is an orthopedic hospital, we need to have physiotherapists to help the patients. If there are no physiotherapists and occupational therapists, the knee transplant will become useless. And similarly, if there is a maternity home, there has to be a lactation counselor or consultant. And that concept is lacking. So we need to start from scratch, and this is where GIST comes in. Not just baby-friendly hospital initiative, not just 4-dimensional immunization clinics, but also seeing to it that there are dedicated lactation counselors or breastfeeding counselors and complementary counselors and consultants, and the university courses which will take care of providing such an intellectuals and ultimately providing job opportunities for them. So this is in GIST what we feel that areas where GIST and BPNI Maharashtra can collaborate. And ending with a small hymn, Shira Nira Nidhistestu Stanayo Kshira Purakaha Sadaiva Subhago Balo Bhavatesha Bhavala. Shira Nira Nidhistestu, let the stock of milk, food and water in your breast be sufficient enough so that a baby can become a Mahabali. Not just Mahabali like Bhim and Hanuman, but like Panchakanyas also, the concept of Panchakanya. And Payomrutasamam Pitva Kumaraste Shubhanane Dirgamayur Vapnotu Deva Prapyamrutam Yatha. In case the blessing to the mother, just like God achieved immortality by drinking Amrut, you feel by drinking your milk, let the baby also become immortal. And this is the message which has been given by our India, our Bharat, thousands of years ago. And they should be written on the walls of every maternity home. And this blessing should be there on the outside of every pediatric clinic. And if it is followed in mind and spirit, I'm sure that Sashakta children, Sashak will ultimately give rise to Sashakta Bharat. Thank you so much.
I'd invite Dr. Smita Bisen, who's the founder of Uni Shakti. She's also a maternal and child wellness consultant, pregnancy and childbirth coach on parenting education, and has empowered over thousands of moms with pregnancy and childbirth education, 600 plus corporate female professionals in their motherhood journey, and to join back professionally in their work as well. In her social contribution, she's contributed to training maternity staff, nursing staff, ASHA workers, Anganwadi, Sevika, Dr. Smita Bisen. Dr. Smita Bisen, I now request you to talk on Uni Shakti, and thank you, ma'am.
Great. Thank you, ma'am, for this lovely introduction, Nidhi ma'am. And thank you, Yeluji Rao sir, Dr. Rashmi Kulkarni, Srinivas sir, the whole team of GIST. And it was great listening to all the speakers before me, Dr. Nakul Parashar, Dr. Prashant Gangal. And yes, I would love to begin this session, interactive session. I would love to keep it more and more interactive. And I would love to start with this beautiful quote. हर खुशी है लोगों के दामन में, हर खुशी है लोगों के दामन में, एक हंसी के लिए वक्त नहीं, दिन रात दौड़ती इस दुनिया में, दिन रात दौड़ती इस दुनिया में, एक जिंदगी के लिए वक्त नहीं. Thank you so much for taking out time for that one zindagi. Okay, so let me start my presentation. As in spite of many trainings program, in spite of awareness programs in maternal and child care, okay, the support area, still there is a huge gap when it comes to the maternity support ecosystem, right from the planning phase till the time that child is 2-year-old, the first 1,000 days, the first foundational years. What you can say, from planning to parenting, there are many gaps. Yes, many advancements are happening. Many high-tech things are coming in this area of maternal and child care, but the basic support ecosystem is somewhere lacking. 1 in 5 mother experiences and goes through pregnancy undernutrition. Only 41% of the newborn get their mother's milk in first 1 hour, that is the first golden hour. These things are alarming, and somewhere we need to understand where we are lacking. Is it education? Is it lack of awareness? Is it lack of resources? Is it lots and lots of myths and misconception? Or is it just negligence? With that note, I would love to start my presentation. It's done. Yes, thank you so much for that patience. Okay, so as you can see, this beautiful plant, what do you see is the seed germinating, and that seed is getting slowly converted into a plant. Quality of the plant is determined by the quality of the seed we are germinating, isn't it? And for that seed, what we need? Anyone? Sir, you want to contribute? Srinivas, sir, what you need? Because I saw a beautiful, background just behind you. So it is aligned with your background. So for when we germinate the seed, what we need to convert it into?
Good ahar, good soil.
Yes. So basically we need a nutrient dense, rich soil. Again, what else we need? Water, sunlight, environment. Basically, we need a great environment, isn't it? And that is where we focus. We focus on creating a strong foundation for that mother right from the planning phase, and even before planning phase, when she is going through a menstrual, menses. So again, sensitizing her for taking a good health, good, taking care of her nutrition during menses also. So right from the planning phase, she has to take care of her diet, and that is where we focus on. Okay, so all the phases of menstrual cycle. Yes, today's women, she wears different hats. I'm sure many of us, many women professionals I joined, some of them are homemakers, managers, entrepreneurs, corporate professionals. We wear different hats. Okay, we are daughters, we are sisters, and a time comes when we become wife, and a time comes when we plan to have a baby, when we plan to start a family. Okay, and that is when, when the pregnancy happens, when she conceives, and the family is ready to bring that baby into this world. Each one of us, every member in the family wants to contribute in their parenting journey, and somewhat this picture appears. Okay, so the parent-in-laws, the grandparents, the colleagues, the pregnant friends, the relatives, they want to contribute in their parenting journey. Okay, so the couple is there, but all of them will come and share their advices. ये खाना चाहिए, ये गरम है, ये नहीं खाना, मेथी गरम है, ये नहीं खाना है, आपको ये खाना है. And then the lady gets confused. मुझे खाना क्या है वो बताइए, ये नहीं खाना है, वो नहीं खाना है, बहुत सारी चीजें नहीं खानी है. Okay, so lots and lots of myths and misconceptions play a very important role during pregnancy when it comes to a nutrition part. Okay, and then she goes on to search on the web. आज के जमाने में Google Baba is everywhere available. Even doctors are facing a lot of issues because of this Google. Any issue is there, they just go on the, the mothers, they spend approximately it is surprising. You will be surprised to know the young mother, pregnant mothers, she spends 7 to 8 hours on mobile. Okay. And then the information overload happens. I'm just sharing the problem statements, and she's also managing her work, career, and the family as well. Okay. So taking care of the family is one thing, but taking care of her work, her socio-economic, her society, her surrounding, that is again also going on. Okay. So when it comes to factors affecting maternal nutrition, yes, her socio-economic status matters a lot. Access to food, whether she has that freedom to buy that food. I will be focusing more on the maternal nutrition, as Dr. Prashant Gangal has already covered most of the part of breastfeeding and infant nutrition and toddler nutrition. My focus will be on, again, the foundation, creating a great foundation for that child. Yes, okay. So first is socioeconomic status. Second is access to food. Psychology of the food is very important. When it comes to psychology, what I have realized is because I deal with the new mothers day-to-day basis, in spite of having availability and access of the food, a good socioeconomic status, availability of food, the freedom to take the food psychology, let's take an example, taking empty calories. Okay, in spite of having good nutrient dense rich diet at home, meal plan at home, she, because of lack of education and awareness, she will try to take empty calories like cake, donuts, biscuits, chocolates, and she thinks I have taken enough. Okay, so this is psychology of food, where because of lack of awareness, they tend to eat such kind of food. Next factor is food-related myths and misconceptions. I have already covered that. Freedom to have nutrient-rich food. बहुत बार घर की महिलाओं को freedom नहीं होता है. Most of the times the money is with the men of the house. So she doesn't have that freedom to ask for food. Okay. And these are what you can say, the role of nutrition during pregnancy is postpartum, how it is related. Okay, so good nutrition is linked with healthier babies, more energy, that means less fatigue will be there, better pattern of weight gain and weight loss postpartum. less premature labor, less chances of premature labor, greater elasticity of the tissues, and more rapid healing after birth. That is postpartum recovery. When it comes to greater elasticity of the tissues, what I mean to say is, less chances of interventions. Okay, when the nutrition during pregnancy is great, there is very less chance of episiotomy, the interventions. And this needs to be, sensitized through education, regular education to that mother. Yes, as many of you have shared, the concept of rainbow meal, majority of the part, 50% of the thali should have, juicy component, more and more veggies, a variety of the veggies should be there, and all the colors should be there in the thali. So the mother needs to understand the concept of rainbow thali, instead of saying ki carbs itna lena hai, protein itna lena hai, fat itna lena hai, water itna lena hai, dairy itna lena hai, she gets confused. So the Unishakti tries to, focus on making the process more and more simplified for her, because she doesn't come from a medical background. She doesn't come from a scientist background. She's, she wants some simplified approach to make it more and more simplified. What we tell is, follow obviously the, food types are taken into consideration, but I will not go into detail. To make it simplified, we, give this thing, a rainbow meal pattern. Yes, again, making the focusing on, concept of holistic health, because health doesn't just mean, absence of disease. The WHO also says it is not merely absence of disease. It is also physical, well-being at physical, mental, social, and spiritual level as well. So we focus on all the aspect, the holistic aspect, because not just the physical health, but the mental health equally matters. There are many emotional changes happening during the pregnancy. Okay? So that is where our focus is. So the physical focus is on the Aahaar, Vihar, and Vishranti. And when it comes to the mental factors, Vichar, Vikar, and Vivek. Okay. So Aahaar, yes, the physical health completely depends on not the health doesn't only depend on the nutrition, but on the exercise, the rest, Vichar, Vikar, and Vivek as well. Okay. So this is the basic concept of calorie requirement, recommended dietary allowance, what are the macronutrients and micronutrients. Basic awareness is also given to that mother. When it comes to first trimester, most of the times what happens is, till the time that mother gets to know that she's pregnant, already 8 to 9 weeks are already happening. Until that time, the heart is beating, the major organs are formed, the circulation has formed, brain has started developing, rapid cell division and growth development is happening. And she doesn't focus on the, diet part. Because till most of the pregnancies, till the time she gets to know that, she's pregnant, already 2 months are already happening. So that is the reason, the focus should be more on the planning phase when she's planning pregnancy. So first trimester, it is stage of formation. Small and frequent nutrient-dense and folate-rich food should be advised, because the brain development is predominantly happening that time. When it comes to second trimester, it is stage of consolidation, मतलब ये जो ढांचा बन गया है उसपे, और मतलब this is the time to catch up the nutrient reserve and build your reserve in second trimester. Third trimester, the period of nourishment and nurture, maximum weight gain occurs, maximum brain development occurs during third trimester. Cravings, yes, here we work on the food psychology, how to, yes, cravings are the internal, what you can say, the instincts of that mother. ऐसा भी बोला जाता है कि the baby is giving that message to the mother that, she should eat such food. But what we tell is, yes, cravings are there, but we need to be mindful about what we are eating. The balance, the variety, and the moderation needs to be taken care of when we think about cravings. And yes, the multiple pregnancies, twin pregnancy, triplet pregnancy, and the special pregnancy condition where we should apply, where the, in this case, let's take an example, if mother is having gestational diabetes, hypothyroidism, PIH, any complications. So in this regard, the mother needs to get a customized and a personalized approach depending on her weight, depending on her height, her lifestyle. The customized approach needs to be applied. So this was about pregnancy, how right from the planning phase till full term of pregnancy, depending on the stage of pregnancy, the importance of nutrition should be taken care of. Let us quickly move on to the next aspect when the child is born. Okay. So again, same thing happens. I'm sure many of you are mother, and you must have gone through this process. When the child comes, the whole focus shifts from mother to baby, isn't it? How many of you have you experienced that? The whole focus shifts from mother to the baby. Okay, and during that one period, the focus should be mainly on giving that baby, and the baby should be kept immediately on the chest, the skin to skin, the kangaroo mother technique. All these things needs to be practiced. Okay, but the focus is on giving that baby, honey. There are many cultures, there are many communities where this custom is sadly followed, where they give the honey to the baby. honey चटाना एक दस्तूर माना जाता है, एक नेक दिया जाता है. तो यहाँ पे बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है. There is a huge need to educate not just the mother and the father, but it is huge need to educate the family as well, the immediate family, who is going to be the birth companion with the mother and who is going to be a support, postpartum support. Instead of inviting lot many people in hospital, there should be restriction on inviting one trusted family member who is not judgmental and who is fully equipped with basic pregnancy and postpartum care knowledge. And that is the reason we involve the family members as well. And the best time to prepare that mother for breastfeeding, newborn care, and early postpartum care is during pregnancy itself. Okay, when we say that the nursing staff should provide the support during postpartum period, yes, that is equally important. But educating that the basic health literacy needs to be transferred from us, from medical professionals, from people like GIST, the members of GIST, and the aligned streams should focus more on educating that mother. Basic reproductive and health lactation physiology to that mother needs to be taught during pregnancy itself. Okay, so like this picture, all the members in the family, especially the mother and the grandparents and the in-laws, obviously they will share their experiences. Some of the experiences will be more and more happy, that like their breastfeeding experience was more empowering, happy. And let's take an example. If someone's experience is traumatic, someone's post-childbirth experience is traumatic, she will share the same experience that it happens. ये सबके साथ होता है, ये दर्द सबको जाना पड़ता है, So it depends on what kind of experience you are sharing with that mother. And that is the reason, if the mother is well aware what is breastfeeding preparedness, what is kangaroo mother care, what is skin to skin, what is latch, what is deep latch, what are the different positions, what is cradle method, what is cross cradle, laid back kab karna hai, what is colostrum, the benefits of colostrum, why it is first golden hour is important, the importance of prolactin, how prolactin works. To make it simplified, how we do is we educate the mother in her language. because she doesn't understand the golden hour. She doesn't understand the concept of prolactin and oxytocin. So what we tell her is, आप अगर किसी restaurant में जाते हैं तो आपको जो when the favorite food comes, it takes just few minutes to get that food ready. Okay, so same happens during pregnancy. The prolactin is like that chef which is preparing the baby's food throughout the 9 months. Okay, and then that delivery boy, that oxytocin comes and delivers that food from mother to the baby. Okay, so it just example making it simplified to the mother instead of bombarding her with medical jargons. Okay, so we try to avoid the medical jargons and make the things more and more simplified. Yes, so most of the things I will not go into detail. Again, here also the information overload happens. I try to correlate most of the experiences with my childbirth experience. In most of my talks, I share my childbirth experience. So this is 2012, my first childbirth experience, and 2019 is my second childbirth experience. So if you can volunteer, raise your hand, which one is more and more happy, empowering, so that upcoming generations can be inspired, and which experience you think is not so happy and emotionally traumatic. Anyone?
The second one.
Second one is more and more empowering. Okay, so when you correlate your story, when you keep yourself in that mother's place, आप जब खुद को उनकी जगह पे रखते हैं, तो the empathy, the compassion, it comes naturally. Most of the times I align my experiences. Yes, so during my first childbirth, 2012, in spite of having so much knowledge in this area, in spite of having basic knowledge about pregnancy, childbirth, and I myself have attended many births, but because I was not prepared for that childbirth, I was not prepared for the breastfeeding, the whole postpartum period was traumatic, because the staff, the nursing staff, the gynecologist, obstetrician cannot be with me throughout. They have to be there with the other patients who are in emergency, the OPD, the operation theater. Here, the need is to educate the mother during pregnancy itself instead of relying on the staff. Yes, the role of lactation counselors, as Sir Dr. Prashant Sir said, it is very, very crucial, but that the emphasis should be also given to educating the mother and the father and the family during pregnancy itself. Because during golden hour, it's very crucial period, and each and every moment is important. And 2019, my childbirth experience was amazing. Both the pictures are taken exactly 30 minutes after the delivery. You can see the hospital. And 2019 was amazing. Why? Because I was prepared for childbirth education. I was prepared for how to cope up with the pain, how to manage the pain, how to relax, how to breathe. My husband was prepared as a birth companion. My family member was prepared as a postpartum support, and they were completely aligned with the process. Okay, and what Unishakti is striving is to achieve optimum basic health for the mother and the child, creating a strong foundation. Yes, skin to skin importance, we cannot deny. The importance of correct and deep latch. The pictures needs to be shown using the baby model, the newborn breast, newborn model, breast model, and the proper positions needs to be taught, educated to the mother. Different positions to be demonstrated. It's like not just giving the knowledge, but actions talk louder than the words. So actions matter. Everything needs to be demonstrated. It's like giving hands-on training. Why? Because see, she has spent years and years on the kind of education she wanted, career she wanted, where she is, but she has not spent even a single moment on understanding what pregnancy is, how to birth the child, how to breastfeed. And we suddenly expect, immediately after she should breastfeed. No, it is not possible. We need to educate for each and every moment. Importance of colostrum, foremilk. What is foremilk? What is hind milk? Why the baby is not gaining weight? Is the baby getting hind milk or just foremilk? benefits to the baby, mother, and the family and the society. Okay, yes, very important. We never, promote formula. We always try to educate the mother and stay away from formula trap. The role of prolactin and oxytocin needs to be, educated to the mother. Basics of weaning, sir has already covered most of the part. I will try to quickly go through this. We need to educate the mother about the size of the stomach. Okay, because most of the times the family think the stomach is very big. Okay, but for that newborn, the stomach is just the size of the marble. Okay, the first 24 hours. So baby just needs what? Milk. Okay, just a thick colostrum of just teaspoonful. Okay, so the size of the stomach needs to be taught to the mother. What is the size in 48 hours? What will be the size in first 1 month? What will be the size of the stomach in next 1 week, 1 month, and next 6 months? What should it be the weight gain? So the using the basic simplified language, we need to teach and educate the mother about the size of the stomach. Next comes the readiness of weaning. When the baby turns 6 months, the mother and the family are very excited to start the food. But is the baby ready? The mother needs to understand what are the signs to, is the baby is sitting upright with some support? Is baby excited for the food, raising hand, trying to grasp that spoon and hand? So we need to educate about the readiness of weaning, the complementary food. The role of tongue thrust reflex needs to be taught. The Phalaprashana, the importance of Annaprashan, what needs to be given in first 10 days, 15 days. I'll quickly go through the slides. The importance of, taste buds, the importance of all the touch senses needs to be educated, because she is not prepared for and aware of all these aspects, the weaning, Annaprashana, what foods needs to be started. We should also focus on the importance of weaning, starting, giving any new food type for first 10 to 15 days, and then introducing a new variety of food. The importance of giving that new type of food in the first half. First half mein hi kyun dena hai? Why the foods, new complementary food needs to be introduced in the first half? That should be also kept in mind. The importance of, making them aware about the allergy aspect. Again, one more thing is, again, the importance of, breast milk, because till 1 year, breast milk is still the primary food along with the complementary food. This also needs to be informed to the mother and the family that your milk, the mother's milk, is still the primary food for that baby. The importance of breast milk cannot be denied. Okay, this one particular factor, because when they start the complementary food, they try to ignore the breast milk, but breast milk is still the primary food till 1 year, because the benefits of breastfeeding are still immense. What food needs to be avoided till 1 year? The sugar, salt, the non-veg, egg.
Smita ji, sorry, I think you need to close it. We are running really far.
Yes. Even, yeah, I was about to come to the end. So we have already completed. My focus was on maternal nutrition majority of the times, and I tried to cover that, So when it comes to collaboration with GIST, I'm happy to share that I have posted more than 150 short awareness videos on various social media platforms. I have a huge community of new parents. On LinkedIn, my focus is mainly on creating awareness through social media platforms. So in maternal and child care nutrition, when it comes to spreading awareness, I would love to collaborate and contribute. Yes.
Yeah. We will separately talk on that matter.
Yes. Sure.
Great.
Yes. So thank you so much for the opportunity. It was great interacting with you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Smita. I'd now like to invite Professor Ganesh Bagler from just Aahaar Kranti Education. He's a PhD in computational biology from CSIR Center for Molecular and Cellular Biology, India, MTech in computational techniques. He finished his postdoc from the CSIR National Center for Biological Sciences, Bangalore, and Max Planck Institute for Molecular Genetics, Berlin. Currently, he's working as an associate professor and lead of Complex Systems Lab at IIT Delhi. He's also regarded as a pioneer of computational gastronomy and is the co-founder and CTO of IOSLA and the creator of the acclaimed computational gastronomy resources such as RecipeDB, FlavorDB, SpiceRx, DietRx, and Ratatouille. He's an outstanding speaker and educator in our areas of artificial intelligence. Thank you so much for joining us. I request you to share your thoughts.
Thank you for that kind introduction, Nidhi. Let me share the slides. So first of all, at the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Gokhale, Dr. Kulkarni, Dr. Yeloji Rao, and the whole of GIST team for having me around here. What I anticipate to do is to take roughly around 8 minutes to give you an exposure to this completely new topic, which I'm sure most of you are unaware of, which is computational gastronomy. And I'm sure you are wondering, what is this computational gastronomy all about? And what has food got to do with computation or computers in the first place? So let me take you into that. Before that, I'm Ganesh Bagler. I am associated with IIT Delhi, the Indraprasth Institute of Information Technology, and part of Infosys Center for Artificial Intelligence, where I am conducting this research. Thinking about food, I'm sure all of you have been wondering on different aspects of food, right from farm to fork, from agriculture to nutrition. And when it comes to food as we consume, Homo sapiens, it's cooked food, the processed food, via the traditional protocols that we have, which we call as recipes. And therefore, most of us have come across this notion of cooking being a magical process of transforming raw ingredients into delicious dishes and recipes that we tend to consume. And given that, the approach has been taken that this is an art and less of a science, barring for endeavors which have gone into investigating food from its science and technology perspective in food science and technology. Largely cooking and anything related to food is considered to be an artistic endeavor. Given that, we are standing in 21st century, and I believe that a variety of domains in life have been transformed by the introduction of data science and computation. The question that we are asking in my lab, in the complex systems laboratory, is that can food also be transformed with the help of data and data science? Well, my wager is that it is indeed possible. Like the way a variety of aspects in our life, whether you think about the railway reservation system, think about the transportation, maps, or the way we use the Ubers and the Olas today, they have changed our life. All of us have heard about machine learning and artificial intelligence and how they have been changing our life dramatically. Right from tagging on Facebook to logging in MacBook, everything is controlled with the help of immense amount of data, which is analyzed at the background with powerful algorithms. Question is, how can we find out means for using data science, artificial intelligence, and machine learning for making food computable? And that's what we have been dealing with for the last 7 years in my lab. Starting with my journey at IIT Jodhpur all the way up to IIT Delhi, we have been investigating food as a computing or computable entity. And that's what we are working on. So what is computational gastronomy? It's a data science which blends food, data, and the power of computation so as to achieve data-driven food innovations. So as you can clearly see, this is an applied domain of computer science where we're trying to come up with interesting applications, right from food, flavor, nutrition, health, and sustainability. In all of these dimensions, we're trying to come up with applications. And I believe in a futuristic manner, we are needing to feed 10 billion people very soon by the year 2050. And I'm sure even India would have also grown in terms of population. And we would need to change the way food systems are operating, the way food is moving from farm to fork. Question is, can we do it without the help of data and computation? And my belief is that it wouldn't be. Introduction of data and computation is going to be extremely sensitive in making this goal achieve globally as well as within the purview of Bharat and India. So for the last 7 years, we have been building databases of different layers of food. Any science, any aspect of life, to be able to become a data science, you need to have quality curated data, without which you just cannot transform into a data science. And that is where we came into the picture and we looked at what are the different aspects of food, such as traditional recipes, which is what we tend to consume on a day-to-day basis in different parts of the world, and flavor molecules that go into the ingredients, whether it is mango, chili, tamarind, or whatever it is. The taste and odor of that ingredient is primarily coming by virtue of the so-called molecules, the flavor molecules, which interact with our gustatory and olfactory, the taste and odor related mechanisms, giving rise to a rich spectrum of flavors that we experience. The nutritional aspect, let us not forget that what we consume is the primary source by which we imbibe, we get the nutrition, whether it is macronutrients or the micronutrients. And lastly, this is not the whole spectrum. However, these are the 4 different forks that we have worked on. The health aspect. Each of the ingredient has got different kind of health impacts on us. Can we enumerate that? Can we create data sources corresponding to that? That's what we were thinking about. And we have been building the world-class databases as well as algorithms for investigating this data. To take you a little back, in 2015, 14 and 15, when I was still at IIT Jodhpur, we started looking at Indian recipes. India is a potpourri of cultures with a rich and diverse culinary heritage. All of us are aware of that. Question is, can we investigate the Indian food, Indian recipes from a data science perspective and look at its health-centric, culture-rich practices from a scientific point of view? And that's where we started looking at what is called as the food pairing phenomena in the Indian recipes. So we looked at close to 2,543 recipes coming from the length and the breadth of countries from different regions. 8 different regional cuisines is what we investigated at that point of time. And we computed what are now known as the culinary fingerprints. All of this research that I'm talking about is published work and is available freely when you search for it. So we published this work where we investigated what makes a Maharashtrian cuisine unique vis-a-vis a Kannadiga cuisine versus a Punjabi and a Bengali cuisine. How is it unique and what are the similarities? And very, very interestingly, we found fantastic ways by which one cuisine distinguishes itself from other in terms of the way ingredients are put together. And also at the same time, there are similarities across the Indian cuisines that we had investigated at that point of time. And our primary result that came out of this investigation was that spices form the molecular fulcrum of Indian cuisine. By looking at Indian recipes, their ingredients, and the flavor molecules that go into them at a tripartite level, tripartite graphs is what we created, we concluded using a sophisticated mathematical and statistical analysis that spices indeed are the fulcrum of Indian recipes. And I'm sure none of you who have been consuming Indian food for a long period of time, nor the chefs and the culinary enthusiasts who are imbibed into the Indian culture, culinary culture, would have to be impressed upon this fact. The difference is that we did this mathematical analysis and came up with this conclusion, which was completely unique and hadn't been done until then. So we called the spice the taste of India. And you would be happy to know that in 2015, this research was highlighted as an emerging technology by none other than MIT Technology Review and was highlighted as best of 2015 by the end of that year. That's the title of the article that was published by MIT Tech Review. We said data mining Indian recipes reveals new food pairing phenomena. And that started our journey into computational gastronomy. Now, to tell you about the future of computational gastronomy, what we are trying to achieve, and how I believe the global Indian diaspora, as well as international collaborators, in addition to GIST, can help us taking this big dream of transforming the global food landscape using data-driven paradigm. So what we are trying to do is we have created a mantra called making food computable. That's a 3-word mantra that we have created for our lab. And we are trying to create databases, again, published work in Oxford University Press. First one is in Database Journal and the second one is in Nucleic Acid Research. One of them is Recipe DB, which is a structured compilation of more than 118,000 recipes from across the world, which belongs to 26 world regions and 84 countries. And these are extremely structured in terms of figuring out which one is ingredient section, which is the instruction section, what is the which one is the ingredient, that's name, quantity, unit, temperature, processing, etc. Everything, including utensils. Everything has been segregated using algorithmic strategies. And these algorithms are also independently published in various journals. And the second one is that of FlavorDB. It is the world's most comprehensive database of flavor molecules which are found in natural ingredients. So we have close to 2,500 flavor molecules coming from around 1,000 natural ingredients that has been created as a repository as part of FlavorDB. We have gone beyond India and have created or computed the culinary fingerprints of world regions. And this paper, where we published the culinary fingerprints of a variety of world regions, 26 world regions and 84 countries, won the best paper award in a computer science journal conference. You can imagine that obviously this topic of blending food with computer science is arising as a new field altogether, given the importance that computer science journals, IEEE journal, is giving to food and its computation. One of the most exciting questions that we are asking in my lab is that the traditional recipes that we have been consuming, is that the end of it? Can there be new recipes which are both nutritional as well as tasty and healthy? Can we do that? And that is where, I don't know how many of you seen this movie Ratatouille. I'm sure some of you would have seen it. It's an adventure of a rat into the culinary universe of human beings, where this rat believes in eating something tasty and something which he would like to create on his own. And this is where Chef Gustav in the movie keeps saying that anyone can cook. The question that we are asking as a computer scientist in my lab, can computers cook? Can algorithms design new recipes? Given the fact that a typical recipe has got 10 ingredients and there are around 1,000 ingredients, even if you ignore the varieties of potatoes and the chilies and tomatoes and take them as single entity, the number of recipes that can be generated is 10 to the power 30 approximately, which is more than the number of stars that are there in the whole universe. Question is, can we find ways by which computationally we can generate these recipes, take them through the sieve of culinary fingerprints to generate recipes which are more like Indian, more like Bengali, Maharashtrian, Andhra, Tamil, French, Brazilian, whatever you wish to. Can you do that? And we have written the first algorithm for that. Ratatouille is already available, and industry is after us in trying to exploit this for various applications that they can think about. The last bit that I'm going to touch about is the health part. All of us have come across contradictory assertions about something being good for you as well as bad for you, whether it is wine, whether it is egg or fat. You must have come across scientific articles and news articles which are written based on the scientific articles, which tell us about how it is good and some other time it is bad, right? All of this is coming from empirical data. So what we have been able to do is to create a repository called DietRx. We started with SpiceRx, and now we have created DietRx, which has got more than 2,200 food ingredients and their disease associations, which are coming from empirical data published in PubMed and Medline. All of these research articles which have been mined using text mining protocols. so as to provide us a comprehensive view of positive and negative health effects of food ingredients. Towards the end, I would like to present you how we are trying to use the traditional knowledge coming from Ayurveda to blend it with informatics. So we have this trademarked interface called Ayurveda Informatics, which is part of a startup that we have created along with IIT Guwahati graduate student, a very young fella who is the source of all of this idea. Ayurveda Informatics has been created by compiling the knowledge from variety of Ayurveda literature, and we have created a repository which can be used for searching it in a systematic manner. For paucity of time, I'm not going to get into the details of it, but this is available online. You can register and can explore this further if you wish to. Towards the end, I would like to say that computational gastronomy presents a vision for the 21st century food, where we are trying to blend food with data and computation, using tools such as machine learning and artificial intelligence to come up with fantastic applications, including food beverage pairing, prediction of taste and odor of small molecules, finding out culinary fingerprints, which are unique characteristic features of cuisines, finding ways of dietary interventions for especially the diet-linked disorders such as cardiovascular disorders, diabetes, and obesity, finding out novel food and beverages, a priori by knowing the knowledge about the flavor and health impact, and importantly, the sustainable food innovations by looking at the carbon footprint and the water footprint of the recipes. We have done all of this. We have published all of it. You will get all of this information from our lab website. And the agenda for this particular August audience to present this research is to take inputs of variety of directions this can be taken forward, both globally as well as in an India-specific manner. I would like to close my talk by telling this journey that has gone from astronomy to gastronomy. I was an aspiring astronomer as a teenager. I never could become one, but I ended up becoming a gastronomer through this serendipitous journey. And this is the quote by none other than Brilla Savarin, the author of The Physiology of Taste, who also coined the term gastronomy. The discovery of a new dish confers more happiness on humanity than the discovery of a new star. So while it has taken us more than 150 years to come from gastronomy to computational gastronomy, I believe that in a very short period of time, by the use of data science and largely computational gastronomy tools, we should be able to transform the gastronomy area, the food, in a dramatic fashion to be able to reach to the billion-odd people that are out there, both within the country as well as beyond it. So thank you. Thanks a lot.
I'm Sujata Gokhale, and namaste and warm welcome to all the panelists and the audience here. Due to the paucity of time, I'll rush through what collaborations are happening between the education vertical and Aahaar Kranti, how we are complementing each other. So let me just share my screen, if you don't mind. Yeah. Yes, like Yellowji mentioned earlier, education is one of the three active verticals of GIST, along with Aahaar Kranti and agriculture. We provide a platform to connect to the global scientific diaspora who are willing to share knowledge and expertise for the development of Bharat. Using the concept of connect, collaborate, and implement, GIST education vertical is currently collaborating with experts, subject matter experts on one hand, and on the other hand, with various agencies. So, yeah, our post-inception education vertical had panel discussions with institution experts, educators, and innovators, young innovators, to identify educational gaps and what could be done in the field of education. Now, Everyone must be wondering how education and Aahaar Kranti verticals are, connected, or how the relationship stands. So, as we celebrate the first anniversary of Aahaar Kranti, the nationwide campaign for better nutrition, we would like to mention that we did a project on collaboration between the two verticals. The concept of collaborate, plan, and implement began with a pilot project of developing two apps, Microbiome Our Superhero and Aahaar Buddy. Now, this was done with the help of Tech Power Girls, who is a GIST education volunteer, Ms. Renuka Kelkar. And with her help, we developed these apps, and it was well received by the young generation, who were our target audience, because if we could reach them, then we could reach everybody else. Then we came to collaborating together on different, developing learning modules, credit courses, guest lectures, learning modules, teacher training programs. This is currently being developed by both the Aahaar Kranti and the education vertical, and it's an ongoing initiative. We also are collaborating on skill-based development, like app development, low-cost technologies for food gardens, community gardens, and also research-based projects. You can see here how we are focusing on the e-learning. The global diaspora, that is the subject matter experts, academicians, researchers, universities from the global scientific diaspora, provide self-paced courses or customized courses for educational institutions back in India. So these institutions would normally include schools, colleges, universities, corporates, and NGOs. Now, various e-learning modules are being developed. These are some of the few. Just now, Dr. Wagler demonstrated the use of AI and data science in nutrition. Then we have microbiome, nutrition itself as a whole focus subject, science, communication, Ayurveda, GIST, global information systems for nutrition and agriculture, food forests. We are also thinking of conducting webinars and interactive workshops. Now, regarding the skill-based trainings, these are basically looking at app development and low-cost technologies. And as Aahaar Kranti initiatives go on, a lot of data is going to be collated. Now, we plan to have research-based projects on these data that has been collated by the Aahaar Kranti initiatives. This would, using AI and other technologies, we would like to, find the nutritional gaps, if any, and find sustainable solutions in filling these gaps. So we look forward to more collaborations. Thank you.
I'd now like to introduce Dr. Prakash Kumar Jha, who's a lead coordinator agriculture. He has a bachelor's degree in agricultural sciences from the Banaras Hindu University, master's in agricultural climatology, environmental sciences, Indian Agricultural Research Institute, IARI, Pusa, New Delhi, PhD in crop and soil sciences from the Michigan State University, USA, postdoc at the United States Agency for International Development, Feed the Future Collaborative Research on Sustainable Intensification at the Kansas State University, USA. He's a geospatial crop modeler for African countries and chair of agronomy in Africa community at the American Society of Agronomy. He has several publications and has written many research papers, attended many international conferences on agriculture, water management, simulation models, remote sensing, socioeconomic survey of smallholder farmers. He's also an active volunteer at GIST. Thank you, sir.
Namaste, aap sabhi ko. Dhanyawad. It is a pleasure and enlightening to listen all the learned speakers. I was told to talk about the GIST agriculture vertical and how it relates to Aahaar Kranti. So no matter how it is defined, nutrition starts with what we eat. And when we say what we eat, that is the products of food and agriculture sector. So today we are celebrating the first anniversary of Aahaar Kranti. And it is my immense pleasure to talk about relationship of agriculture and nutrition. And what as a GIST we achieved in our first year. So we have a diverse vertical called agriculture vertical in GIST under the able leadership of Sri Sarad Mohan ji, Dr. Sesnath ji, Sri Arun Pandey ji, Dr. Pankaj Gupta ji, and hundreds of other volunteers. So we grew like a Visal overbridge, we can say. We are also celebrating our first anniversary of agriculture vertical as we started our activities on May 11, 2021. So GIST agriculture vertical consists of stakeholders of the domain across the world. As far as my memory is concerned, 24 All India Service Secretaries and Joint Secretaries from different departments of agriculture are working with us. 34 senior scientists from ICAR, EPEDA, Minister of Agriculture, they are working with us. We had deliberation from 3 Padma Award winners and Dr. Ratal Lal, who is the World Food Prize winner of 2020 and serving as an advisor to President Joe Biden in US. He came to our platform. Several cabinet and state ministers came, several entrepreneurs from various parts of the world. Through more than, I think, 50 webinars we did in last 1 year, 2 physical programs we did at ICAR and IISF Goa last year. What we are doing, we are working on improving livelihood of good number of farmers. What we are doing, we are proud to inform you that we are providing many scientific solutions to our farmers in remotest part of rural Bihar, you can say, rural Andhra Pradesh, rural Maharashtra as well. How we are doing? We are doing through different kind of various FPOs, farmers producer organizations, and local organizations along with Bharati Kisan Sangh as well. So for any organization, focus remains on bringing people together or building a network in initial few years. We can boast upon the level of network we created in 1 year. Moreover, we also focused on working together, which includes some of the revolutionary work what we did. In next 2-3 minutes, I will highlight quickly on agriculture vertical strengthen the Aahaar Kranti, how we strengthened. As we all know, a productive or a diverse or sustainable agriculture sector is recognized as recognized for healthy diets, source for healthy diets and improving human nutrition. It's well known. Even after pandemic, if you see many observers, many academicians, they continue to call attention to the importance of food system for shaping human health and nutrition. Dr. Srinivas Rao ji is here. Kudos to Dr. Srinivas Rao ji, who conceptualized the very basic concept of Aahaar Kranti, and the able leadership of Yellow ji and Rasmi ji, who made it a real Kranti, I can say. As Dr. Yellow ji Rao ji said that the Green Revolution averted global food shortage and saved millions of lives. The part of its legacy, however, we are doing right now is much emphasis on the calorie-rich food like a staple rice and wheat and maize. So this calorie-rich production system has limited the contribution of agriculture to meeting the most national dietary recommendation. What Dr. Amazing presentation by Dr. Ganesh, he was talking about the importance of nutrition as well. So when we say reshaping modern agriculture and food system to be more nutrition sensitive, that should be our more focus. Instead, we had in the past more focus on providing supplement nutrients and fortification. So what we did at Aahaar Kranti and in agriculture vertical, we highlighted that Samanya Janmanas, we can say, that a common denominator is for all malnutrition and diseases, that nutrition. So what we did at Aahaar Kranti, we identified what are the basic food and staple food they have. Obviously, rice, maize, and wheat, right? So the central question was that in 1 year, what we did, do agriculture interventions improve nutritional status in the household? And the secondary question while we addressing was, what are the characteristics of those interventions that improve nutritional status of smallholder farmers or smallholder household, we can say. We found that in the agriculture vertical along with Aahaar Kranti that it is time to convince a small household to eat fruits and vegetables. What we could do, we identified, we listed the most common diet of household and what and how we can work on improving nutrition in that. So that's how, if you see, Modi ji highlighted about the fortified rice, because rice is consumed by just Samanya Janmanas, we can say, right? He emphasized that malnutrition is a hurdle in the development of women and children. Prime Minister Modi announced fortification of rice distributed under PDS system and midday meal scheme. And he actually said that by 2024, we need to address those malnutrition scheme through midday meal scheme. उन्होंने कहा था कि राशन की दुकान पर मिलने वाला चावल हो चाहे मिड डे मील में हो, हर चावल फोर्टिफाइड राइस होगा अगले 1 साल 2 साल में. हमने क्या किया एज ए जिस्ट, as announced and desired by Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Srinivas Rao ji abhi bata rahe the, GIST took an initiative to work on this. Agriculture vertical of GIST promoted the cultivation of fortified rice in various parts of the country, including the Bihar, Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, by engaging all stakeholders, scientists from ICER, farmers organizations, social organizations, and entrepreneurs all jointly took effort to make it a realization, and we did it. In the last year, we grew. Heartfelt thanks to Dr. A.K. Singh, DDG Extension, for coordinating those activities. Special thanks to Dr. Srinivas Rao ji, Sri Sarad Mohan ji, GIST USA, for initiation and coordination of all efforts. Without support of countless farmers, it was not possible. And the volunteers effort. So पिछले साल हमने ISF में गोवा इवेंट में हमने लोगों को मुगल धान fortified rice की खीर या पायसम बनाकर लोगों को सर्व किया. अभी रिसेंटली वी फेड बिहार के रिमोट एरियाज में जो स्कूल गोइंग चिल्ड्रंस हैं उनको हमने सर्व किया है. पंकज जी हमारे साथ बैठे हुए हैं. पंकज जी गए थे उनके ICR की टीम के साथ वहां पे. माननीय जयंत जी यहाँ पे हैं. Our humble request to माननीय जयंत जी to highlight these activities on our platform so that माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी should talk these activities in Mann Ki Baat. So it is our hope that agriculture, nutrition, and health communities can leverage the potential for a shared solution across sectors to confront the challenges of improving nutrition, health, and especially ending global hunger, you can say, when we talk on the nutrition perspective. So my humble submission to Jayant ji is that please put forward to Manya Pradhan Mantri ji so that he can talk on Mann Ki Baat, our effort of Aahaar Kranti in last 1 year. Dhanyawad.
To talk about Aahaar Kranti, I'd like to now introduce to all of you Dr. Rashmi Kulkarni, Lead Coordinator, Aahaar Kranti. She is a PhD Molecular Genetics from the Ohio State University, USA, and a Master's Microbiology from the University of Mumbai. She's finished her postdoctoral research in evolutionary genetics at the Institute of Molecular and Cell Biology, Singapore. She's a researcher at the Weill Cornell Medicine, Qatar, elucidating the mechanisms of breast cancer and lung cancer. She's also an entrepreneur in hydroponics as managing partner at Integrated Group Qatar. She's an educator, conducting student research programs, focusing on human microbe and how it relates to nutrition, and also a very well-known app developer. Thank you so much, Rashmi ji. Please share your thoughts.
Namaste everyone. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you everyone, all of the speakers, for all the wonderful talks, wonderful insights that we have today. So without taking a lot of time, I'll quickly go through the way forward, what the vision we have. I hope everybody can see the slides. So the vision of Aahaar Kranti is because when nutrition is incomplete, what we can see here is the developmental potential is not met. We do not develop fully. And what happens is a lot of infectious diseases and chronic diseases, as all the previous speakers mentioned, the burden is just increasing day by day, especially in Bharat. So the solution that we have so far in the past 1 year, we focused on addressing all of the nutritional gaps and making educational modules. So the wonderful team, Nakul ji gave profuse credit to me, and I humbly accept it on behalf of the entire team who worked tirelessly in preparing these modules. Anjali ji, Shikha ji, Praful ji, Yellow ji himself, Leena ji, Vikram ji, and Kasturi ji, and as well as Sujata ji, in making all of these modules. So there were so many webinar series, there were so many interactive and engaging talks that were given by the subject matter experts. But what we are focusing now is really solutions. So when we look at the way forward, we are trying to address solutions, because when people have solutions right in front of them, awareness is one thing, but having solutions takes it to the next level. We can fix nutritional gaps by providing all of these. And as Prakash ji mentioned, as Sujata ji mentioned, there is so much collaborative leadership happening between all three verticals to solve these issues. Well, there are some examples that I'm showing right now. I'll quickly go through these. There are nutritional interventions that we are looking at in collaboration with Karnataka State KSRDPU, the university we have signed MOU with. On the right, I have mentioned the kind of things that we would be looking at. So we are already in the process of forming teams and beginning these kinds of studies where we will work with partnering institutes, and these there will be data collection in a very systematic manner. All of this will be published so that this can be replicated on a national level. There's nutritional supplementation for children who are anemic or who have nutritional issues. There are these supplements that are made by a company called Bibliant. So this is one of the pilot projects that we are also beginning, where clinical studies will be done along with partnering institutions. There are nutritious recipes. There's a collation of healthy recipes that will be done, which are child approved, tested by parents. These are all hands-on projects that the students will be doing. Again, there's data collection in all of these endeavors. There's nutrition in the curriculum. So the subject matter experts in Aahaar Kranti are looking at introducing nutrition in a way where children will be very inspired and very motivated to actually follow what is mentioned in the curriculum. Again, these all will have hands-on experiments. There will be data collection for this as well, as to what the effect is. And when we talk about solutions for people who really cannot afford good food, so there's affordability issues and there's poor choices of food. In order to solve the affordability issue, we are working with subject matter experts. We are working with partnering institutions to build Nutri-Gardens, food forests, so they can actually fix the nutritional gaps. They can remove this issue of malnourishment. We are looking at growing wild fruits and vegetables which have a very high nutritive value. There are projects like these, as Prakashji mentioned, that when people start thinking about fresh food, organic food, hyper-local food, we are also looking at having DIY hands-on projects which will make people self-sufficient, who can grow their own food by using hydroponics and aquaponics, very novel technologies that are gaining popularity. There are also student-led projects where we will focus on using student influencers who are already popular on social media to promote healthy recipes, to promote the importance of health benefits and the impact on their academic performance. The educational modules that I already mentioned will be built into a self-paced online learning course. There will be ebooks and books that will be published. So all of this will be done in collaboration with the education vertical. Nutritional awareness videos. Now, when we talk about these modules, it is very important to present it in a way where people can actually grasp what the nutritional gaps are and what they can do about it. So again, with partnering institutes, we are coming up with student projects where they can make videos of the modules that we have developed so far. There's nutritional awareness campaigns where people need to be educated about the nutrition, age-specific nutrition. And we will again use the modules, videos, and animations in schools, colleges, and these will be displayed on the Partnering Institute's website so that people have very easy access to all of this kind of information. The use of social media, I cannot stress enough because the younger generation is very, very savvy in the use of social media, and we need to use that too in order to reach the new generation. So there will be a lot of nutrition related posts, age-specific nutrition, and projects that students can actually do to promote these kinds of information. There will be certification programs and internships for this as well. Another thing that the Aahaar Kranti subject matter experts and volunteers have been working on are to create collaterals. So what that means is puzzles, games, quizzes, crosswords, and things that help students learn even more easily. So these will be published so that they are available to the general audience. A very important project is community kitchens, where people normally think that, oh, if we need a traditional thali, we need to cook it ourselves. But we want to build a community resource where people come together to build this platform where traditional meals are prepared. The use of local fruits, vegetables, herbs, and spices is done in a very systematic way. And we will do this in partnership with NGOs, midday meal providers, suppliers of fruits and vegetables, so that not everything has to be done in-house or by one person. A community effort is a much more valuable resource for this. We also are identifying subject matter experts who will go and train in a zone-specific manner in the regional language. So we are looking to train zone-specific experts to improve zonal awareness. There's another very interesting project that we are beginning now, which is the nutritional support groups. Something as simple as a WhatsApp group of, say, elderly who are 50 or 200 in one WhatsApp group, if they are motivated and inspired on a daily basis to improve their nutrition, to incorporate colored fruits and vegetables, to incorporate nutritious diet, there's accountability. It is a very simple and effective way of helping improve nutrition. Again, we will be doing data collection and publications in relation to this. As Sujata ji mentioned, one very interesting project that we have already started is educational apps. Two very successful apps that we already made were the Aahaar Buddy and the Microbiome app, which were already very popular. We are working on several others along with Tech Power Girls, other partnering institutions, to build these very engaging apps for children. There's a new take that we can do on traditional recipes in order to make these very popular. So one thing we are working on is to get videos of traditional ways of recipe making along with family stories, so that these can be publicized and children can be inspired to make better nutritional choices. There's a very important aspect which in our diet, which is traditional fermented foods. So we will be collating all of these fermented foods and the recipes for that and highlighting them again in the form of short videos, animations, and all of the health benefits. We will involve the older generation for recipes, and there will be data collection about the health benefits as well. Very interestingly, as we have seen this several times, the traditional thalis are so diverse, so nutritious. We would be looking at having statewide competitions for a complete nutritious diverse thali of different states, which will include local seasonal recipes. This is something, these are some of the projects that we have already initiated. We already are in the process of forming teams, collaborating with partnering institutions. And once we fix all of these nutritional gaps, we will form a nation that is much stronger. As Yeloji mentioned, Bharat can very easily be Vishwaguru if we are able to start these pilot projects and take them to the next level. This is what we see going forward in the next 5 years. Many of these projects will be done in collaboration with the agriculture and the education vertical and many different external partners, where we are looking at identifying subject matter experts. We have already signed MOUs with several very interesting partners, universities, and we are also looking at collaborations with corporates, funding which will be required for all of these pilot projects. So these are some of the things that we are looking for in the next 5 years. So with that, I would like to really thank all of the volunteers in GIST in all three verticals who have worked tirelessly in the past 1 year or even more to bring us through this amazing journey. I'm very fortunate to be a part of this. So I'll just end my talk here. Thank you so much for listening.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have amidst us Shri Jayant Sahasrabudhe, the National Organizing Secretary of Vijnana Bharati. According to him, and sir, I quote you here, confluence of science and literature will go a long way in taking science to the masses. He is reshaping the paradigms of nutrition in India, और इनका उद्देश्य है भारत को आत्मनिर्भर, सबल और समृद्ध बनाने का. He has been a संघ प्रचारक since June 1989. He's done his BSc in Tech Electronics Engineering in 1989 from the University of Mumbai. I request you, sir, Jayan ji, to please address the august audience. Namaste.
नमस्ते. यहाँ पर उपस्थित आप सभी को मेरा सादर नमस्कार. आज हम सबके लिए बहुत ही आनंद का दिन है, क्योंकि हम 1 साल पहले आहार क्रांति का प्रारंभ करते हुए 1 साल की यात्रा पूरी करके इस मुकाम तक पहुंचे हैं. अभी जो सारी बातें यहाँ पर जो विशेषज्ञ आए थे उन्होंने की, उससे कई बातें ध्यान में आई. और ये जो हमने एक आंदोलन प्रारंभ किया है आहार क्रांति इस नाते, उसका महत्व आज वर्तमान में और भविष्य के लिए कितना है, यही बात सभी विशेषज्ञों के द्वारा फिर एक बार हम सबके सामने आई. 1 साल पहले जब आहार क्रांति की सारी तैयारी चल रही थी, तो कई प्रकार के लोग इस कार्यक्रम के साथ जुड़ते हुए हमें देखने मिले। और 1 साल की यात्रा में भी ये ध्यान में आया कि विदेश में ही नहीं तो अपने देश में भी इस कल्पना के साथ व्यक्ति और कई संस्थाएं जुड़ गई। इससे एक बात ध्यान में आती है कि ये जो विषय हम सभी ने मिलकर अपने देश के लिए उठाया है वो निश्चित ही बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। कई प्रकार की अपेक्षाएं इस पूरे वर्ष भर में कई लोगों ने इस कार्यक्रम के बारे में हम सभी के सामने रखी है। हम सभी ने ऐसी अपेक्षाओं के ऊपर भी बहुत सारा विचार विनिमय किया है। अब हम सभी का दायित्व है कि इस आहार क्रांति कार्यक्रम के कारण जिन सभी ने इस बात को सुना है और उसके कारण जो अपेक्षाएं उनकी निर्माण हुई है उन सभी अपेक्षाओं की पूर्ति करना, उन सारी बातों को न्याय देना। मुझे लगता है कि इसी संकल्प के साथ हम सब मिलकर निश्चित ही आगे बढ़ेंगे। कई प्रकार की बातें जिसका विचार करना चाहिए ऐसी आज के प्रस्तुतियों में आई। हम सब जानते हैं कि विचार अच्छा है, विचार अच्छा होता है, लेकिन उसके साथ उस विचार को क्रियान्वित करने वाले लोग जब तक नहीं मिलते तब तक वो विचार समाज तक नहीं पहुंचता। इसलिए हम सभी ने मिलकर इस आहार क्रांति के बारे में बहुत सारा विचार विनिमय किया है। 1 साल के अंदर बहुत सारे नए नए लोग भी इस कार्यक्रम के साथ जुड़े हैं। अब हमें आगे बढ़ना है, उसमें प्रत्यक्ष समाज के साथ मिलकर कार्य करने की आवश्यकता रहेगी। समाज के अनेक लोग ऐसे हैं कि जो इस कार्यक्रम के साथ जुड़ने के लिए उत्सुक है। तो हमें इसका विचार करना है कि ऐसे सभी को साथ में लेकर प्रत्यक्ष जमीन पर किस प्रकार का कार्य हम सब मिलकर कर पाएंगे। मुझे लगता है कि आप सभी के पास भी कई लोगों ने इस कार्यक्रम को प्रत्यक्ष समाज में लोगों तक ले जाने के लिए कौन सी बातें करनी चाहिए इसके बारे में कुछ सुझाव दिए होंगे। ऐसे सारे सुझावों को एक साथ लाकर उनको प्रत्यक्ष कैसे क्रियान्वित कर सकते हैं इस पर अब हम सभी का ध्यान होने की आवश्यकता है। मुझे लगता है कि हम सब मिलकर इस दिशा में निश्चित ही आगे बढ़ेंगे। हम सब जानते हैं कि वर्तमान में हम सब मिलकर अपने देश की स्वतंत्रता का 75वां वर्ष मना रहे हैं और हम सभी की एक आकांक्षा है कि स्वतंत्रता का 100वां वर्ष हम सब मिलकर जब मनाएंगे तब अपना देश विश्व में एक नई ऊंचाई पर पहुंच गया होगा। और इस बात को साकार करने के लिए हम सब एक साथ आए हैं। जैसे इस आहार क्रांति के बारे में एक बहुत ही सरल विचार हमने सबके सामने रखा, उत्तम आहार उत्तम विचार। हम सब जानते हैं कि अभी कई लोगों ने यहाँ पर एक निश्चित बात रखी कि अपने देश को फिर एक बार हमें विश्व गुरु बनाना है। ये जो एक मंच विश्व स्तरीय अपना प्रारंभ हुआ है, इसका प्रारंभ जब 2010 में हुआ तब इसको प्रारंभ करने के लिए आए थे डॉक्टर अब्दुल कलाम। अब्दुल कलाम जी के मन में अपने देश के बारे में एक सुंदर सा चित्र था और वो चाहते थे अपना देश जल्दी ही विश्व में सबसे एक अग्रसर देश बने। उन्होंने इस बात को छोटे शब्दों में, वाक्यों में हमेशा प्रस्तुत किया। उन्होंने एक बार ऐसे कहा कि भारत, हम सभी मिलकर भारत में कैसा सपना रखेंगे, तो उन्होंने बड़े सरल शब्दों में कहा, लेट अस ब्रिंग बैक द डेज ऑफ नालंदा। यानी एक समय अपने देश के बारे में दुनिया में ये लोग जानते थे कि अगर ज्ञान की प्राप्ति करनी है तो भारत की ओर चलना पड़ेगा, और इसी बात को फिर एक बार हमें खड़ा करना है। तो हम जिन अब्दुल कलाम जी ने जिस इस मंच को आशीर्वाद देकर इसका शुभारंभ किया, उनके और उनके जैसे अनेक श्रेष्ठ लोगों के सपने को पूरा कर पाएंगे। मैं आप सभी को इस समय बहुत ही बड़ी शुभकामनाएं देता हूं, आप सभी का अभिनंदन भी करता हूं, और इस विश्वास को मैं आपके सामने प्रस्तुत करूंगा कि हम सब मिलकर निश्चित ही आहार क्रांति के द्वारा इस सपने को पूरा करेंगे। आप सभी को मेरा हार्दिक नमस्कार।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। और जैसे आपने कहा, हम एक नई उमंग, एक नई ऊर्जा के साथ इस आहार क्रांति को एक नया स्वरूप देंगे, और जरूर देंगे, और भारत जरूर विश्व गुरु बनेगा। We'll celebrate 100 years of independent India with this slogan. Thank you so much for coming and gracing the occasion as a chief guest. Thank you so much, sir. And now